Welcome to the world of AI. Today we are going to learn about ChatGPT 5 latest model launch. Watch the full video and subscribe the channel if you like the content. Happy learning. Enjoy.
All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into what might just be the next huge leap in artificial intelligence, ChatGPT 5. So, let's jump right in.
It's pretty hard to forget when ChatGPT first landed. It wasn't just another app launch, right? It felt more like a meteor hitting the tech world. Almost overnight, it completely changed what we all thought AI was capable of. And honestly, we're still feeling those shockwaves today.
And this wasn't some quiet little ripple either. It was more like an earthquake that shook the whole business world. Just look at this data from Reuters. It tells the story perfectly. Before the launch, you see AI was, a topic on investor calls, but after, it became the topic. And all that explosive interest, well, it set the stage for the next big thing everyone's waiting for, GPT-5.
Okay, so what exactly is this next step? Is it just another update like a GPT 4.5? Well, from everything we're seeing, it's way more than that. It's a genuine leap forward. So on the surface, the definition is pretty straightforward, right? It's the fifth version of OpenAI's language model. But that simple definition, it kind of buries the lead. What we're really talking about here is an AI that isn't just getting a small boost. It's being built from the ground up to reason, to remember, and to create in a way that's, well, it's in a totally different league than what came before.
So let's break down that jump from GPT-4. It's a big one. We're going from what was already strong reasoning to something they're calling advanced reasoning. The context window, think of that as the AI's short-term memory, is getting way, way longer. So it can actually follow a really long, complex conversation without forgetting what you were talking about 5 minutes ago. And its senses are expanding. It's not just about text and images anymore. We're looking at it potentially handling audio and video, all while being, a whole lot more accurate.
So to really get why this is such a game changer, we kind of have to peek under the hood and see how this thing actually thinks, because the whole architecture is changing, leaving the old way of doing things behind.
I love this analogy from some Stanford AI experts. They say the original models were basically trained to play a giant planet-sized game of Mad Libs. They were fed trillions of words, and they just got ridiculously good at predicting what the next word in a sentence should be. That whole process, that's what we call pre-training. But here's the key difference. This new generation of models is moving past just predicting the next word. Instead, they're being designed to have something that, well, it looks a lot like an internal monologue, a thinking process that happens before it ever gives you an answer.
And we can actually see this in action. Take a look at this example from a model called DeepSeek R1. Instead of just spitting out a final answer, it literally shows its work. You can see it breaking the problem down, laying out its logic step by step, and, get this, even correcting itself as it goes. That level of transparency, that could be a total game changer.
Okay, and check this out. Let's pull back the curtain for a second. This is a supposed system prompt for GPT-5 that leaked on Reddit. Now, a system prompt, it's basically the AI's core instructions, its DNA. And look at what it says. It's not just about getting facts right, it's being told to have a personality, to be insightful, encouraging, enthusiastic, even to have gentle humor. So what's the payoff? What do you get when you build an AI that actually thinks before it speaks? Well, according to reports, you get this, a massive 45% drop in factual errors. That one shift, from just guessing the next word to actually reasoning through a problem, is what makes this AI not just different, but so much more accurate.
All right, so this is where it gets really interesting. This is where the theory hits the real world. Because these new powers, they're not just for having a conversation. They're for doing things. We're now entering the age of what people are calling agentic AI, which is just a fancy way of saying the AI doesn't just tell you stuff, it actually does stuff for you.
Let's take planning a trip to Italy, for example. In the past, you'd ask for ideas. Now you give it a whole project. You say, plan my trip to Italy, and the AI agent just goes to work. It starts by researching cities and attractions. Then it finds hotels and restaurants. Then it creates a downloadable itinerary file for you. And to top it all off, it builds a public Google map with everything pinned. It's not just an information lookup anymore. It's a project manager.
And it goes way beyond travel planning. The applications are just insane. It can act like a financial analyst, taking an earnings report and spitting out a custom dashboard for a CFO, or a medical translator, turning a complex lab report into plain English you can actually understand. It can be a web developer, building an entire interactive app from just a description you give it. It can even go shopping for you or connect to your calendar and email to schedule your meetings. This isn't an assistant, it's a super assistant.
Okay, but a tool this powerful, it's a double-edged sword, right? It obviously has massive implications. And we have to look at both sides of that coin, the incredible promise and the very real peril. So let's start with the promise. And the numbers here are just staggering. McKinsey is projecting that generative AI could add up to $4.4 trillion to the global economy. And that's not a one-time thing. That's annually. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire economy of the United Kingdom, every single year. And this isn't some far-off future thing. Businesses are already putting this to work right now. As you can see, they're using it for everything from customer support and content creation to sales and data analysis. And it's having a real impact on the bottom line. Get this, almost half the companies using this stuff already say they're saving over $50,000 a year. But while that upside is massive, we have to flip the coin over. We have to ask, what are the risks here?
Well, a huge one is a problem called hallucination. That's when the AI just confidently makes stuff up. And it's not guessing, it states it as a fact. This image is a perfect and frankly terrifying example from the legal world, where an AI literally invented fake legal cases. Now, in a high-stakes field like law or medicine, that's not just a little mistake. That is a serious, serious danger.
And it doesn't stop with hallucinations. There are other really deep concerns. Remember, these models learn from data created by humans, so they can easily pick up and even amplify our worst societal biases. Then there's data privacy. These things are processing unbelievable amounts of information. What happens to our privacy in that world? And then, of course, the big one looming over it all, the real possibility of massive job displacement.
And the potential scale is just, it's hard to even wrap your head around. This quote here, it cites a Goldman Sachs report, and it predicts that AI could replace over 300 million jobs. Think about that. That's not a small adjustment. That is a fundamental transformation of our society.
So when you're staring down the barrel of this incredible power on one hand and these huge risks on the other, what do you do? I mean, how do we even begin to move forward?
Well, Stanford AI expert Christopher Manning actually lays out a pretty clear three-step path. First, he says, you have to experiment with it. Don't be intimidated, just get in there, play with it, and see for yourself what it can and can't do. Second, treat it like a coworker, maybe an assistant or an intern. Use it to help you, but always remember that it needs supervision. It's going to make mistakes. And third, and this is the big one, think bigger. This tech unlocks possibilities that we're only just starting to scratch the surface of.
Because at the end of the day, that's what this new AI is. It's a tool. It's not a magical genie that grants wishes, and it's not some conscious being from a sci-fi movie. It's an incredibly powerful, incredibly capable instrument. And it's just sitting there waiting for someone to pick it up and use it. So the real question isn't just what it can do. The question is, what are you going to build with it?